No, if they lose their next match and Nottingham should win their next one, they fall into the relegation zone and they go up. Hello, good evening. This is Tawana Jobi, your host on Lanona's Maple Sports. You know, we like to bring unfiltered opinion, sharp analysis, and some big love for Canadian hoops and ice. Today, it's always a very good day. Get the opportunity to get a lot of my good friends to join us to talk about the Premier League, a little bit about the Spanish League as well, and some other things happening around the world of football. What we try to do today, since it's 9 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, we'll just focus on what has happened across the week under review. Try to see how we can just break it down, you know, make it look good and, you know, have some amazing fun. I'd like to say today is a good day. Take a chance once more and make a difference. I'll just allow Crespo, Joshua, Emmanuel, just to give us your 2 cents before we just dive right into it. Thank you. Joshua first.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to be back and ready to talk about sports. I mean, just nice, like the conversation we're having just off air. And but yeah, interesting conversations, and yeah, good to be back. Good to have the guys back and talk about football. Yeah.
Thank you for that, Crespo.
Yes, it's good to be back. Good to see you guys again. And like Joshua alluded to, you know, the backstories, a lot of things happened during the week, and you know, it'd be nice, you know, chatting and discussing about those interesting things with you guys.
And break it down. Yeah. Emmanuel of the New World Revolution.
Man is the happy man.
Before they would assume that
he's the happy man.
Party now.
I'm sure he's happy to
just
hear
me,
8 matches.
Just Emmanuel, please. No new revolution, no.
Nobody wants to get into Iran and the world revolution going on.
Please, you know, you trust me. Yeah, I'm happy to be here again to discuss sports with these three gentlemen here. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah. Nice one. Thank you very much. I think we'll just dive right into it to try and see how we can manage time a bit better. I thought we should just, you know, start with the Copa del Rey and looking at the fact that Barcelona had the opportunity to, you know, turn back the hand of time. And that match was completely dominated by them. They were doing about 71% on possession, 21 total shots, 15 corners, 9 shots on target. But for me, I looked at it, Atlético was a bit more relaxed, but, you know, they were lucky that they were able to get it done and, you know, move ahead with it. Before I go on, I would like to just talk a little bit about what Atlético did that I felt that was not good enough. They tried to just take that deep block. They were not aggressive. They didn't try to score. And unfortunately for Barcelona, they were not able to produce up to 4 goals. And that's because they've already dropped the gun in the first leg. I'll just allow Crespo dive right into it and give us what you think is your own 2 cents on Atletico's approach.
Taiwo, I think you were spot on, you know, and those are the things we alluded to before. I mean, after the first leg, like, can Atletico, you know, just, you know, not be Atletico? And they almost were Atletico in that game. You know,
exactly.
against Real Madrid, against Barcelona, they have a way of just, you know, letting go of the steam and not playing at the level that we know they can play. You know, for all intents and purposes, they just sat back with 4 goals, at least, you know, attack, you know, and well, unlucky Barcelona, but that's what happens when you have a first leg and you chip in 4 goals. You know, it might be a tough one to come back from 4 goals down. They tried. They had, like you said, they had most of the possession. They had a lot of chances to score, you know. But hey, there was even a goal line clearance from Atletico at some point. So I think if on another day they would have done even more than 4 goals in that game. That's to show you how Atletico did not come out, you know. But hey, interesting times. Good one for Lookman. He's just getting to Atletico and he has a chance to play in a final. We hope that he can clinch the Copa del Rey Cup against Real Sociedad.
Yeah. The part that also surprised me was the fact that they didn't have a single corner. And that's 15-0. That's a bit alarming for me. It shows that Barcelona really wanted it more.
Well, maybe Barcelona wanted it more, or Atletico did not want to play at all. I think it looked more like Atletico not wanting to play. They were just there to low block,
just to defend their 4 goals.
Just to defend the 4 goals. And again, you can't really. It doesn't make the game solid because you had Lookman, you had Alvarez, you had Griezmann on the field, and you had Simeone. But it's like the instruction was, guys, don't leave your half line or something. You know. We hope they don't play that way against Sociedad in the final.
Hey,
Oh,
they try to
that'll be a
approach
different
it.
game.
I just hope that they change their approach, really, because
And also
even at the
like
time it was 3-0, they didn't play with any panic.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Joshua,
and
you
also
want to say
like
something?
yeah, you know,
Huh?
I think there's a bit of like psychological stuff going on there because I mean you've seen it severally of how teams win the first leg, like, and I think again it's almost like is it a blessing or is a curse? Like when you win with that kind of wide margin in the first leg, it always affects the second leg. Like most of like oftentimes the team who has gotten that lead, the second leg is almost like I think it's
They don't want to play.
psychological. Like you just know that you have that 4-goal lead,
Yeah.
like so you just like take your foot off the gas a bit. And of
Yep.
course, the other team knows that they have nothing to lose, so they come at you more. I
Come
mean,
at you.
they were already 4 goals down, so Barcelona didn't have anything to lose. As opposed to if the game was balanced, you probably see the same
Atletico
balanced
come
game
out,
as you
yeah.
saw Atletico start out in the first leg. But again, so that's always the upside of it. But again, Atletico did well to at least qualify at the end of the day. And Barcelona again made it hard for themselves. Conceding
Yeah.
point in the first leg was always going to be a tough mountain to climb. But I think they gave a good account of their steps. Ultimately, was so close, but yet very far.
Yeah, very far, yeah. I think we'll probably just dive right into Chelsea's performance. I really like what I saw against Aston Villa. And João Pedro was just having a good time with his hat-trick. And Cole Palmer also coming out to make it count. But for me, generally, I just wanted Emmanuel to give me your 2 cents. What do you think is wrong with Aston Villa? They're already going out of the top 6. Whether you like it or not, I don't see them coming back in with 8 matches to go. This was a team that we thought that they'd be able to challenge the status quo. What do you think is really wrong with Aston Villa? Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's am I surprised a bit? Did I see it coming? Maybe. I mean, right from time we knew that they were pushing above their weight, right? Because contesting with Arsenal and Man City for the title, some weeks ago, where they were, almost toppling Man City for that second position. We saw it. We saw what they were trying to do, and they were winning games, a lot of games, right? Despite being a bit short, in terms of their manpower and everything. But injuries
But
to key
Buendia
players.
doesn't have that. Buendia doesn't have that bite anymore.
Yeah, he doesn't. And again, injuries to key players. I know Tielemans is out injured. Who was out injured again? Onana was injured for a bit. I think he's back now.
Yeah, they've got this guy in the midfield. Forgotten his name.
Kamara.
Yeah.
So again, when you don't have the squad, right, to compete, it's not easy in England. Like too many competitions, and they're still very, very much in the Europa League. They're still in the. I think they're still in the FA Cup, right? Are they out of the FA Cup?
I think so. Yeah.
It's not easy. Given what they had, everybody was saying that Aston Villa, they didn't see them as title contenders even some months ago. Even though some of us were still scared, like us Arsenal fans were scared that they might, be serious at some point in time. But right now, the past couple of games, they've not been very good. Against Chelsea, I told me, I expect them to have done better, but it's just what it is. I mean, if you don't have the squad to compete in England, at some point it's going to catch up with you, and that's just what's going on with Aston Villa, right? And I know they brought in this striker, what's his name, Tammy Abraham to support, but
Tammy Abraham, yeah,
scored a few goals. I think scored a couple
he
goals.
has also tried for his first 2 matches. He's showing that bite.
It's called. So I think the issue is just the midfield, injuries in the midfield. That's what was causing them to lose their grip on everything. But I mean, they're still in all the competitions apart from the Carabao Cup. They're still in the Europa League that they're playing. Still very much in the FA Cup, right? It's just the Premier League. So I just hope that they don't end up going beyond below 4, because I mean, looking at how far they've come in the past, I think they deserve to be in the Champions League positions, right? So it's just what it is. It's not easy competing in the Premier League with likes of Man City and Arsenal, with all the money and all the squad, all the players that they have, right? And Chelsea too, especially when the big boys, right? When they play the big boys, it's always a big game. When they play smaller boys, that's when Villa just get to be in the Champions League next season, because they deserve to be there, quite frankly. Because last season they lost narrowly. Some made them to lose that spot.
They lost to Man U in that last game.
Exactly. And it was one where someone put saying the ref made a mistake or something. So this time around, I hope they're able to keep on pushing and make it to Champions League, because I think they deserve to be there.
Definitely. Especially looking at the pedigree of the coach.
Exactly.
With that kind of coach, you probably don't want to be doing the Europa League. He has won the Europa League too many times.
Yeah.
So you probably just want to, step up, do Champions League a bit more.
Yeah.
And Joshua, just talking about fine margins before you go into the performance of Chelsea and how it has been, for them within the week under review. The second goal of Aston Villa, because I was able to catch up to watch the match a bit. The second goal of Aston Villa, if that had gone in, do you think it would have changed the landscape?
Yeah.
Or the horizon completely?
Yeah, certainly. I think so. And again, like I always say, like football, sports generally is about like the fine margins, tiny margins. that can flip games, right? And that change moments. And again, what ifs, buts, maybes, right? If that goal stood, what would have happened? I think Aston Villa would have gone into the halftime break 2-1 up.
2-1 up,
And
yeah.
at best, maybe Chelsea would have gotten the draw, right? So, and again,
Yeah.
the offside was so tight. I was watching that, like,
It was very tight, but
it was very
because
tight,
we are
like,
not on the field. We're not on the field, so we probably, from what I saw from that line, it was very, very tight.
it was very tight. And that's where, for me, I think, like, the benefit of the doubt should be given to the attacker in those kind of situations. I mean, it's already hard enough to score a goal, right?
Exactly.
And to then be penalized because you just happen to have a bigger toe than the defender, like, it's just very, very, very unfair. So I think when it's tight like that and it's millimeters and you're having to draw minute lines, I think the benefit of that should be given to the attacker, except when it's like really clear offside. But again, like you said, fine margins. Well, I mean, you might say that maybe that changed the game a bit in Chelsea's favor. Eventually, because of the delay in checking the offside, Chelsea had a lot of additional time, which enabled them to get that second goal. But again, it was just like Emmanuel said, you never know what you get with Chelsea, right? Especially when you play in a must-win game, as it was with Aston Villa, both teams fighting for Champions League, and Chelsea did really well to come back. After they conceded the first goal, I was just like, yeah, here we go again. But again, we get with Chelsea, and
when I
Pedro
even
has been
I saw the second goal, I was
yeah,
balanced.
exactly. And he's been the shining light for Chelsea this season. I've seen João Pedro, Reece James, Caicedo. Palmer has been out injured, but whenever he comes, you can see how well they link up together. And Garnacho also had a good game. Was that because they were just good? Aston Villa were very terrible. Chelsea could have scored more goals, really. Garnacho could have had, but it was a good game. And hopefully we'll push from there. But again, Aston Villa, this kind of team that when it's going well for them, it's going well. And when it's going terrible for them, it's really terrible. Remember how they started the season? No win in like 4 games, no goal in the first 4 games. And then all of a sudden they went on this run of like 12, 13 winning streak where they started challenging for the title. And now they've just kind of gotten a bump and all of a sudden it goes down again. They just need that spark back and you just know that they will then go back up. But like Maya said, they don't have a large squad. That's been their Achilles heel. And because of they can't spend a lot of money. So right now, like I said, they're punching above their weight when they were third. And right now it's just the reality of where they should be, considering this strength that they have. And hopefully they'll be able to make Champions League either the 5th position or Europa League.
Yeah. Again, sorry, let me just, I don't know if
okay, chime in, okay.
Yeah, I just want to chime in about Aston Villa. I think I've noticed something about Aston Villa, especially when they play the big boys. I think you can't always play an eye line against teams that are fast and quick like that. They did the same mistake against Man U a couple of seasons ago. They did it, so you again, that's Emery for you. Like, you don't have your best players. Why go eye line? Why are you playing an eye line?
So high, like with every pass, every chip ball, Chelsea were behind.
Was behind. So you're having Mings, who is not fit. He's back from 2 years injury. You've got Konsa. I'm not sure Konsa is the best of defenders on the ball. So why do you want to set your team up in a way that once the ball goes behind them, they can't catch up? And that's how we saw a lot of Garnacho. Garnacho had a field day because any ball that passes through is on goal, is making runs on 1v1. So again, we can say a lot about the depth squad. I think Emery has a little finger on what happened against Chelsea. Again, this is the crunch time towards the end of the season. Every point you can get now will go a long way. Why are you playing the eye line? Why are you playing the eye line? You don't have your best guys in the middle that can run and keep the ball. You're playing Luis, who hasn't played in a long time, and you're going eye line. So I feel Emery going eye line cost them that game. And whichever way, even if they had Watkins' goal staying, I feel Chelsea will still have won.
Okay. I know João Pedro had the fun of his life. He was playing so well. But another part is that we ignored is Garnacho is a fast player too. So no matter how
so don't play an eye line. Don't play eye line if you're going to deal with.
So
you don't do that.
And I even think he's even enjoying the kind of football he's also playing in Chelsea because he's playing with a lot of joy. Playing with a lot of
yes, he seems happy at Chelsea.
Extremely happy. Manu was more of an average guy, but he plays very, very fast in Chelsea. I think I like the way Rosner is really using him. He's really playing well. Yeah. So, Emmanuel, I wanted us to just chime in on Arsenal's performance, especially their last match. There was a noticeable mistake that was made by the keeper that eventually was saved by the defender. That play has been everywhere, on social media. But we'll probably not start from there. Let's start from the good parts. They just had a go at 9 minutes by Bukayo Saka. They had one of their lowest percentage when it comes to possession. I think was doing 59.9, almost 60% at home, while Arsenal was struggling with 40.1%. Arsenal that used to have a lot of corners, they just had only 3, while Brighton had 4. If you look at it, it looked like something Crespo said a couple of weeks ago. Now that Arsenal is getting to the end, they are a bit second-guessing themselves. They have what it takes to be able to come up with wonderful performance. They are a bit second-guessing themselves. But the good thing is they were able to get an early win from Bukayo Saka and they just, made it count. Give us your 2 sets and, what do you think went wrong?
I mean, the thing about the league, it's winning a league is not easy, right? So every game mustn't be all fancy, all nice tiki-taka football, sort of things. So in every game you can do that. And again, apart from the fact that Arsenal is still in 4 competitions. I think Brighton is just in the Premier League right now. They've gone out of the FA Cup, out of Carabao Cup. So they're just going on. And these things build up. I mean, this fatigue, it built up over time, right? So it mustn't be the fact that he played the same team the last 2 weeks. Too, right? So at the end of the day, it's not easy for some of these players. Looking at the game that day, I saw someone like Declan Rice was tired at the first half of it. Mendy was off it completely on that. Although he tried, he did something, but after the game, I saw his face, man. The guy looked like he was about to faint. So again, he's not used to this kind of intensity in Spain. They have just Copa del Rey and La Liga. It's just too different in Spain, right? So when I explain it for competition right now in England, so it's not easy, right? So that's not to say that we shouldn't have done better in the game, but these are some of the things you look at it. So this is why some players could be really tired. And again, also we have some injuries in that midfield. Odegaard is out. Mikel Merino is out at the end of the season, right? So you just have Declan Rice, Zubimendi, Norgard, and AP who can play that midfield right now. Maybe Havertz can play there as well as attacking midfielder, not defensive, but attacking midfielder. So it's
true.
Yeah. And again, all the games are different, right? It's not every game you expect to go and dominate the play for 90 minutes. There's some you just
get the results anyway.
If you can play multiple and still win, then that's fine. But if you can't, just get the 3 points and don't lose the 3 points. Just get it and move on. But I mean, at the end of the day, it was a good game for the neutrals. They probably enjoy watching Arsenal being attacked the way they were attacked in that game. Brighton was really, really good. Their midfield and everything really good. Passing the ball very well, bypassing the midfield from times and getting to attack and almost scoring some goals. Despite that, them through. Even the goal we scored wasn't a lucky goal. I mean, there was a slight deflection.
Yeah, it was a deflection from Saka.
Yeah. And good, and that's what they say. If you don't shoot, you don't have a chance. When sometimes that's what I me that's now when I see them play this way, they want to pass the ball into the net. No, give yourself a chance from outside. Shoot the ball. Like if you can't shoot, that's what Saka did, and that was the goal. Because imagine we only had 3 shots on target in that game. 3 shots on target here in that game, all through the game. So if you are not taking that, you won't have scored. And that's what I always say about us. That's one thing I don't like about Arsenal style of play. They want to pass it everywhere. There's sometimes you take too many touches in the box. Just try, take a chance, and just it might hit somebody and it becomes a goal, right? That said, the defense too was really, really, really strong. Gabriel Magalhaes doing what they always do, saving us every single time. And then David Raya, apart from that mistake he made at the start of the game, was really good. When he made that pass.
So Raya has been an X factor for Arsenal.
He's very good, very good. He put some really good saves in that game, right? So his only downside was just that pass that he misplaced, and that could have cost us because if that had gone in, they say goals change games, right? If that had gone in a different game, I don't know whether I would have been able to on that 1-0 down. The way that game went, you said, but then you never know. A goal can change the game and make it, turn it upside down and it will be a different game. But good to see Arsenal get the 3 points and go, we're now 7 points clear, which is good. Also good to see them achieve that.
Yeah, I think it's with 1 match to spare for Man City.
Yeah,
Man City's ahead of 30. They're still on 29 games.
I know we're talking about Man City. Man City drawing at home to Forest, probably help Arsenal. So that 3 points will prove to be a very, very, some very, very great points in the future. But let's see how it goes. But Arsenal, good game. They showed their defensive powers in that game. They're able to hold tight to the end of the game, despite all the attack from Brighton and from Brighton.
Yeah, that's a good one for them. Hopefully, it's just 8 games to go. And if I come to you and I say you just need 8 games, just to save your life, what would you go? How would you approach it? You play those 8 games like your entire life depends on it.
Yeah, but there's still Champions League, there's FA Cup, there's Carabao Cup. So for Arsenal, it's not just 8 games right now. It's just 8 out of like maybe 20 more games to come. Right?
No, but at least Arsenal will be more excited about Premier League than any other cup. Though they can still compete, and hopefully they're able to quickly get the Carabao Cup out of the way and at least have something extra. Premier League is something they really want, if you ask me. Champions League, they will still get some forgiveness from the members of the board, and the owners of the club. Premier League is the most important thing they want, really.
Yes, it is. And we'll get it. This is the season.
You get no problem. No problem. Joshua is just nodding his head.
No, they know now. Joshua knows. Crespo knows.
I've said it. Arsenal will win just because again, Arsenal would win, and I agree with Imani. I mean, I don't know why everyone wants to talking about Arsenal not playing beautiful football. I mean, like who cares about beautiful football, right? It's all about 3 points I'm winning right now. I mean, Arsenal has played beautiful football in the past and like didn't win anything. So it's good if you can play it and win. But you just feel at this point this season, I believe when they win the league this season, next season will be better. This season is not about getting over the line, right? And you can see that from the beginning of the season in terms of the players they bought, EPL proven, and how Arteta has been like approaching the games this season. It's more about solidity, getting the 3 points, and just moving ahead. And that's what they've been doing so far. And I believe they would get over the line this season. Pains me to say, I think they would.
Yeah, I just want to chime in. I think there's this conspiracy from a lot of non-Arsenal fans that they just don't want Arsenal to win, and I think it's unfair. I think Arsenal has been the best team in the league. Honestly, if City wins, I won't be happy. Not because I don't want City to win, but they've not played like this. Like come on. They are there because Arsenal has given them some chance to sniff or to think they have a chance, not because they've been consistent this season like Arsenal has been. And when I hear all those conversations, I think it's majorly on bans and just trying to get to Arsenal fans. And again, like I think Joshua mentioned, or was he Emmanuel? There's this air in Arsenal. They just want to break that ice, And the moment they break that ice of winning the league, I'm sure it'll be difficult to even deal with them next season because at the back of their mind is like we've done this before. But right now, I still feel against Brighton, and you see the sense of we can't bottle these guys, We can't afford to let this slip off our hands again. So I think that's what I was just playing on. Again, I strongly support and I would wish Arsenal win the league, But like we said from the beginning, it's in Arsenal's hands. What they do with it is the outcome.
Yeah, that's true. So before you pass the ball, Crespo, I wanted to just chime in on Newcastle's performance, understand, and talk a little bit about it before we go into what
happened to the front, Crespo.
I'm telling you, as in that first time difference, I've never seen Newcastle tactically ahead with one man down, a red card, and they were still able to play at that level. It was different it didn't look like, to me, I put my hands up for that coach, Eddie Howe. The way those substitutions he made were spot on. He brought in, what's the other guy he brought? That Nigerian, is he a Nigerian guy?
Yeah.
That guy was something else. And the guy is a natural central forward. They just went back and they defended their lives out. You will notice that he brought that ball from the back. It was almost falling down at some point.
That goal.
Before he was now able to convert that ball.
That goal was beautiful.
No. I give it to the coach. The coach was good. The coach was very good.
Yeah.
After removing Anthony Gordon, making sure that they defended, and it was even after the red card they scored their 2 goals. But give us what you think generally. I think there was some poor discipline from Man. After the red card, I expected it to be easy for them, but they didn't take advantage of key moments for me. But what do you think generally, Crespo?
Okay, so again, I think we are out of the Man U bubble. So I think we can all agree
the honeymoon stage
the honeymoon stage is over. And the issues we've always mentioned about the United players are still, the issues are still there. Just that we have a coach who has allowed the players to be much, much free to enjoy
Change person.
themselves. So that's why we're seeing this relative improvement. However, yes, we can give Newcastle all the credit, but I think I don't know why I think that way. More sticks should go to Man U than even credit to Newcastle, because you have more days to rest, but for some reasons you have a lower energy. Newcastle just played, I think, in the Champions League.
Lost
They played
Crystal.
Champions League game. They
Yeah.
played league game. So so again, Man U is quite difficult to explain. Even after the red card, Newcastle had more energy, and you were
As
wondering
in,
what's going
they
on,
were at
guys.
home to start with because it's difficult to beat them at home.
No. Even if you are a man down, at least you want to see the other side have that advantage. But the first
That
10,
have the
20 minutes in the
domination,
second half,
possession.
we didn't see that. And what was happening? Man U was unable to keep the ball. Just simple passes they were unable to pass around, and they kept losing ball to Newcastle. However, the goal from Osula, again, it's a worldie. Like, there's nothing you can do about that goal. It's like the goal Dogu scored against Arsenal. I tell people, if you give him that same ball 10 times, he won't score. The same way to Osula. If he gets that same position 10 times, he will not score. But I feel the odds were just in favor of Newcastle to get that goal. Because before that goal, Man U had like 3 chances that Ramsdale saved.
Yeah.
The shot from Zeski, the
They
Euro
had just saved
header,
one before they went the other way.
so again, Man U picked up, but however, the stars aligned towards Newcastle getting 3 points, and I just accepted it. But again, there's a lot that should tell there's a lot more for that United side, that even when they have so much time to rest, like I said the last time, training games are different from match games. You can see a Newcastle who is match fit or match fitter than United. So again, it's still on United to improve in that midfield. Again, shout out to Tonali. I could barely find any of the Man U midfielders around Tonali in that game. So again,
Tonali
like I
has
said,
improved. I thought he was going to struggle when he came. He has really improved.
So again, like I said, we can see that Man U still has a lot of work to do. However, there's a big improvement in that United side. And so I'm not on the side where, okay, it's now time to panic. We still have a chance. And then I'm not sure anybody gave us the chance to be third position 6 weeks ago. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's true.
So again, whatever it is we get from this, we take it. And I just think it's an eye opener to the board and to the team that come. You guys, you have not arrived. There's still so much to be done here. So that's just what I would say. So shout out to Newcastle, Osula, that goal, I just think it was aligned by the stars that goal will come in and Newcastle was going to win the game.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I think it's because they bought Walter Made. That's why that guy has not been getting opportunities to play. Yeah. When Walter Made came, because I've not been seeing him much until I was like,
no, he's young. Guy? He's a young guy, and he would grow into the
United
team.
Academy himself.
Yeah, Man U Academy.
He's a Man U Academy
boy. Yeah. He would improve. He would play a few minutes here and there, and he will improve into a player that he should be. But he's a good. He gives me vibes of Ekitike.
Man, yeah, so first time I've seen him play, and yesterday, man, I was so on Wednesday, I was so impressed. I was like, when he got that ball from that player, I was like, this guy.
He's one that won the ball from the back from.
And he took the ball all the way now.
And then
because they were all defending, they were practically defending. They were defending those 3 goals.
Oh my God, that would have gone in.
He was practically defending. He was almost falling already.
Yeah, exactly. When he was on the line, it was almost falling down.
They just went in. That was a good one.
Really good.
At the other side, which is at the Manchester side of England, we had Man City playing against Forest. I saw Rodri. Rodri was very excited when he scored the second goal. He didn't know that surprises were still coming his way. Even Man City was able to do 96.9, almost 70% of the ball possession. It just shows me that the teams on the bottom, they are really fighting for their lives. Do you know that Nottingham Forest just needs one more win to get out of that situation? And now Tottenham looks like they are going down. Because Tottenham has lost. They've not won in their last 6. They've not won in their last 6. So
they've not won
at the bottom are becoming very interesting. You say what?
They've not won a Premier League game this year. We are in March.
Yeah.
That's true.
Tottenham Hotspur.
That's true.
Not won a Premier League game this year.
They drew one 2-2. Apart from that, they've lost all the others.
It's
the Champions League is the only one they've won.
Yeah.
And that's when they took care of business, and that's why they qualified naturally. They were not even in playoffs. But what's really wrong? Emmanuel, give us your 2 cents on the mindset, because I saw Espirito Santo was so happy, I mean, not Espirito Santo, what's the name of this guy?
And she was
The Nottingham Forest coach.
Okay.
No,
Pereira.
that's the guy, Pereira.
Pereira.
Pereira extremely
Okay.
excited.
Yeah.
You know, getting this draw was a lot for them.
No.
But Emmanuel,
Okay,
what do
go
you
on.
think? What do you
About the
think
draw,
about
right? The Man City draw.
Yeah.
It was a surprise. I'm sure if you ask the Nottingham coach or Nottingham player that you go to FTL and come out with a draw, even the side, they will say no, that cannot happen. Not in this world. And the way those goals were scored.
No, that Morgan Gibbs goal. Joshua, you see that goal? No, but you can't blame the defender because nobody will believe he will take that chance.
Yeah, exactly. Even the keeper.
Yeah, you can't blame the defender. You won't believe that he will use his back leg.
No. It was just for of course, Man City dominated as you expected. Dominated the game, had more position and everything. But those two goals it just showed class. You know how these goals and everything. There's nothing the keeper or defender could have done for those goals.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was just shocking to see Man City draw to Forest at home. It was like it feels like a loss. Because
Exactly.
if I remember correctly, when they played the reverse fixture at Forest, it was a struggle. Man City won like 2-1 or something, but it was a struggle, right? It was 2-1 or 3-2. It was a struggle. It was difficult for them to win that game. So when I remember the Arsenal and Wolves story, where Arsenal won Wolves at home 2-1 and then came to the Wolves home and then drew. Like this probably with this guy. What I've noticed this season, anything that gives trouble has to beat in anyway, either home or away. On the reverse fixture, there was a problem, right? That's when I thought I was like, this might be a shocking surprise for Man City today. I was following the game and also it was 1-0 at halftime. I was like, only 1-0 against Forest. Come on, Man City can do better. I even thought Haaland was injured; he couldn't play, but Haaland was there on the bench. When he came on, they couldn't. So it was quite shocking to see Forest. And again, that's what happens when the team is fighting for their lives, right? All the players, and they know what's at stake. Yeah. They're fighting for their reputation because if they go down to championship, some of them will probably leave the club, and the thing is to affect their careers. Right now the fight is just remain on top. Don't go down no matter. Yeah. And they're used to relegation. Leeds, West Ham, but they are used to these kind of things, right? That's why for Spurs. Spurs as a club is not used to relegation battles. That's why I think that
Spurs finished 16 last season too now.
Yeah, but not like I mean, apart from last year, they've not done it before where they are like fighting against. Right now, they're 1 point away from relegation.
If they lose their next match and Nottingham should win their next one, they fall into the relegation zone and
I want them to fall into it. Maybe that's when reality will dawn on them.
They're just 1 point. They are just 1 point above relegation.
Well for them is that Yoruba Nigerian boy. What's his name?
Sri Lanka.
That's the only guy that is playing well.
No, there's also one guy that played very well against Palace yesterday. What's his name? Is it Gray?
Gallagher.
No, Gallagher. There's a guy called Gray.
Is it the Romero guy? The defender?
No, Gray.
Okay, Gray.
Gray. Yeah, the youngster. Yeah, that one plays well. Yeah.
Yes, what's going on with Spurs? But I mean, I hope they deserve to stay up. I mean, they're a good team. I think they're a good team. They have some very good players. So I hope they stay up. But Man City, I mean, everybody says Man City will catch up with Arsenal. Just we said before, Man City is really technically because Arsenal giving the chance to be in the title race.
Yeah.
Their games that they need to have won, it would have been over by now. Yeah. Man City have not been great this season. They've lost a lot of games that you expect them to have won. Again, they are rebuilding, right? A lot of players come back from injury, like what's his name, Rodri. And then a lot of players as well. So I think they need time to start doing well together. Even though the fact that they're still they bought Semenyo and what's his name, McGay. Even for those two players, Man City wouldn't have been anywhere because look at all the goals that Semenyo has scored. Look at what McGay has changed that defense. Because if not for you, probably would have had some younger guys playing the defense because the guys are injured.
Even Haaland is struggling.
Haaland has not scored in the last how many games apart from one penalty.
Haaland is struggling. It's those new boys, Czechie, Rodri, that are just keeping everything together.
Yeah, but the Man City side is not. They're not ticking as they did in the previous seasons. I don't see them catch up with Arsenal, except Arsenal loses like the next 3 or 4 games. But I don't see that happening. It's already done for them. They should just cope with their second position and make sure they don't drop down to 3rd or 4th. With Man U coming up, although they lost their last game, there's still a big challenge for that 2nd, 3rd, and 4th positions.
Again, like I said, Arsenal is like the best team in Europe. Even though with everything, it's just unfair. It's just unfair on Arsenal. But hey, okay, back to was I supposed to say something about the City game or Joshua?
No, you're talking about the City game. We're losing you for a bit.
So no, I was saying everybody's just against Arsenal. Arsenal, nobody in the Premier League deserves to win that league. Except Arsenal.
Exactly. They have everything going for them. So just the 2 parts that we pointed out, in all fairness, just like, Joshua talked about last week, Tottenham too, they've suffered a lot of injuries this season too. in all fairness for them, a lot of their good guys are injured, and it has actually affected their run. They started very well this season. Remember how much we're praising Thomas Frank at the beginning of the season, and today is no more there. And last week I talked about the fact that they've not brought in a proven coach, so it won't help them between now and the end of the season. They're just struggling as the day goes by. But looking at the bottom of the table, just like, I've talked about it for Emmanuel Joshua, if you look at the way the Wolves played against Liverpool, these were the notable things, and I wrote them down just to be very intentional. With just 4 attempts, 3 on target, and 34% possession, they executed that perfect low block very well. And that counter-punching masterclass was out of this world. And I like what I saw from them. It means that the Wolves that we are giving up on is still fighting.
Yep.
You understand? The Wolves that we in 90th minute plus 4, out of regular time, 4 extra minutes they scored. Joshua, just give us your 2 cents. Let's see what
I mean, like what the season we are having at the bottom of the league. And like you said, I mean, I've been on the one moves that they're going to go down as probably the worst team ever in Premier League history.
Yeah.
At that point, they were on course to finish. They were on course to finish with less points than Derby did, making them the worst. But I mean, what did you know? And even while I was saying that, I was always mentioning that even if you watch the games, they are always in those games. They are not always blown apart. They have beaten them 6-0, 4-0.
Yeah.
Even though they are bottom, no one has done that to them. They are always in those games. They just lose by the odd goal, 2-1, 1-0. See how difficult it's been to beat them. City, Arsenal, the first leg had to come back to score that late winner, 2-1. They drew in 3 games. They drew
2 own goals. Remember, 2 own goals.
Yeah, exactly. They drew to Arsenal
to
in
Man
the
U.
second leg. They drew to Man U. They beat Liverpool.
They beat Aston Villa.
They beat Aston Villa recently. So I think what we're seeing now is the result of the work that they've been doing behind the scenes. Remember when this new manager came in, you can see that it just took time for the work to yield results, but we've been seeing the work in games. It's not just resulted in wins, and now we are beginning to see it. And again, it's all about, I mean, can they pull off the impossible? I mean, that would be up there with Leicester winning the Premier League if this guy were to navigate Wolves out of relegation. I don't think they would, but at least they can go into Champions League knowing that what they are building right now, they can build on it, win Champions League and come back, because you can begin to see like the results are starting to come for them. And no matter who you are, like you are not beating Wolves easily, like now, even no matter where they are. So it's made
they are currently 12 points behind the 18th person.
The 12 points, right? 4 games.
Wow.
So so it's interesting to see. I still think they'll go down, but it just made the league more interesting in terms of there's Burnley, there's Nottingham Forest, there's Tottenham in the mix, there's Leeds. It's just interesting to see who would go down, who would be the third person to go down, because I still think Wolves and Burnley will go down. It's about now who will be the third team to go down. And but it's made it interesting, and it's given them something to at least fight for right now for the last many games of the season. And we'll see what happens. But I think they've probably left it too late.
Yeah, I think they have. I feel bad for Wolves. They don't deserve to go down. They deserve to be in the league. But look at what they've done recently. Beating Liverpool, beating Aston Villa, drawing against Arsenal. They don't deserve to go down. I feel bad for them. I wish they had woken up earlier in the season. Right?
Yeah.
But it's what it is. It's what it is. But the way they're going, dude, but they are too far behind. 12 points behind 18 places is too much. That's 4 games.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you even look at the table, I think the bottom table might have one of the big boys go down. Tottenham, Nottingham, West Ham. It's crazy. It's just 1 point.
West Ham, but West Ham too fighting for their lives. They beat Fulham. They won. And all of them are fighting. I like how all of them are playing well. Like it's not easy to play against any of those guys. Like it's so difficult.
Can they drag Leeds into their mess? Because Leeds is 31 points.
I don't think so. I think it's more Spurs I'm worried about. Spurs the one, because Spurs they're not used to being in a situation where they're
being in that situation.
They're not picking points.
Their fans are booing them already.
Yeah, and they're not picking points.
Their fans are walking away. The stadium is half filled. So I really don't know. They need to find a way to bring in some energy.
And they maybe if they don't survive, but I don't want to think like Tottenham will go down or Tottenham will be in the, like. I just maybe I'm saying
Joshua. Look at the table.
I mean that's why I need them to drop into that 8. But they're so good.
I'm looking at it now. Okay, so let me make it easy for you. They are 29 points. They have -7 goal difference.
Okay.
So there's
not won this year. How has Tottenham not won this year? Like We're in March.
Nottingham is 28 points. So and guess what? They are just 2 points above Leeds. Again, they need to win games.
Yeah,
They just
they
need
do.
to win games.
Just 8 games left, and you need
They-
to
and
find a way to just
These
win
8 games, they need to win like 4 games out of these 8 games.
4 out of
Yeah,
it at
yeah.
least. Yeah. The clubs are already on 40, are already okay. At least Everton is above that 14 mark.
So
all
from
those clubs
12
will
position, from 12
Crystal
to 20,
Palace,
they are less than 40. From 12
exactly.
position.
Crystal Palace is already on 40 or above 40
Yeah,
now.
no, they are 38 points. 38 points.
Okay, 38. So they just need one more win to go above 40.
Yeah, you win. Yeah.
So
So the people that are safe, Brighton, Crystal Palace, Newcastle, they need one more win and they're on 40 points.
they're already on 40. Exactly.
But Leeds,
even with the way Newcastle played, they are still below 12th.
they are way back.
They should be 12th
Yeah,
now.
they are way back now.
12th.
They are having a bad
They should
season.
be
Yeah.
12th now. Wow.
This
season is tough, really.
Quality, I think,
is tough.
has been terrible.
With all the good Leeds have done, I'm not sure they are also out because they're just 2 points ahead of 3 points ahead of West Ham. So if they lose their next game and West Ham wins, they're in the race of going to championship. Let's see. It's going to be an interesting end to the season.
Yeah, I think so. Very interesting.
Yeah. So just a quick digression. I know we've been able to do some justice on the Premier League side, and this is a very controversial part. Looking at the present, instability and the war going on in the Middle East, and UEFA is trying to, plan a game between the winner of the Euros and Copa America winners.
Yeah,
I know they always play that around. I think it's going to be March 27th. But the match was supposed to be played in Qatar. And right now, Qatar is also getting a bit of heat coming from Iran. So there's a lot of back and forth going on. Even the Saudi Pro League as well. They've come out with a statement that they will not stop matches. They will continue their Pro League, continue playing generally. What do you think? Because right now, this is the most controversial preparation for the World Cup. America is the enemy of everybody. Now, how many people would be encouraged to still come to North America to watch the World Cup? Mexico is having their own issues. I think the only country that is practically safe so far with no drama is Canada.
Just come and play everything here, please. When they're open to get
so if they decide that they want to play everything in Canada, it's going to be overwhelming, extremely overwhelming. That's why they want to still keep it within these 3 countries. And I see FIFA being very political about the way they're approaching it. Till today, they never brought out a statement to condemn what's happening in Mexico. All they're just doing is putting all their energy to try and see how they can support. Well, but what do you think generally, Emmanuel, on everything that's just happening and how it most likely will affect the World Cup?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely affect the World Cup, right? Because these sort of things are scary, right? When you think about the fact that how this politically blow over, just takes a Putin or whoever, man, and that's it. And although I don't see that happening. Nobody wants a global war, right? But the way it's going right now, I'm sure the World Cup won't be the same as then. But right now, it's too close to the World Cup for us for it to be moved on. Even though matches might still hold in this place that you mentioned, but it's just too close to it to let the matches hold normally. Because I don't see guys from England coming down to the Open watch the games because everything going on there happily. People whose families have been affected by bombs and things like that. People have died. People have lost their loved ones, which is really sad.
Exactly.
I mean, they're so rest in peace, right? So, but it's just sad. I mean, I wish the world is a place where these things don't happen, right? We just come to the world and everybody's happy, calm, no bombing, nothing, right?
Yeah.
For the World Cup, it's important to see how that will happen because Mexico, like you said, is having their own issues. US now is not in good terms with clearly Iran and then part of this. Because no matter how much you hate Iran, you have their own people who like them as well in those countries that they must send bombs to. It's will have a ripple effect on the World Cup lately. Will they have the number onto in terms of tickets? I'm sure a lot of people have bought their tickets, but will they all come? I doubt it. Right?
I doubt it. Yeah. It's a big doubt everywhere.
It's a big doubt everywhere. So that's what I see. It won't be the same. It can't be the same with without all these things happening. That's what worries me. I just hope it holds. It will hold. In terms of getting those numbers of people coming to watch the games and those players too who are playing these things, they're affected by their friends, they have family members who are either affected by some of these things as well. So which
psychologically, some of them may not be in the right
balance, right? Which is never a good thing to experience. In a way, your friends or family members are going through stuff like this, and even though you're not there, you're safe and wherever you are, but you're still not happy. You still be scared that this doesn't blow over, or that I hope they are fine. Things like that. I'm sure we have. Yeah, my sister was talking about her friends in Qatar, and she was asking them what happened, what's going on. We were like, you got to all to stay at home, not go out, not go to work, and everything. it's just a big it's just
Big
sad.
deal.
Just sad with the world.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, I think we did well with time today. So just to end,
Yes.
Joshua, it looks like
Sorry.
League One.
I
Okay.
wanted to mention something about what you mentioned. Iran qualified for the World Cup, and this World Cup they are supposed to play in US. So I don't know
In the
how
US.
it's not going to be affected.
No, I
Well,
don't think Trump can give them visa. He would not
exactly.
try.
So that's what I'm saying. So no, it's going to
Exactly.
affect the World Cup.
Yeah, I'm saying they might
You
ban
know?
them. Like
Definitely.
they might have to replace Iran with one of the South American or North American countries.
So again, it has affected the World Cup. As
But for
simple as
me,
that.
I mean, I'm of a different opinion. I still think the spectacle that is the World Cup would still be big and very big this year in the summer with America. I think all of these issues, once the World Cup starts, all of these issues will find their way and will be
Will die down.
football and the spectacle that it is one to watch. I think eventually all of these things would settle down and the football would take over when that time comes. That's what I think.
I sincerely hope so. All they can just do is redirect Iran's matches to either Mexico or Canada if they can't go into the US. That's just the way they will do it. And since FIFA still has good relationship with those other countries, they will just say, okay, all Iran's matches should be played in Mexico or Canada. That's the best way to go about it.
Yeah, these countries too are allies with US. So
with the US.
Canada wants to host Iran in Canada after what's going on right now. Mexico, so we don't want to host Iran. Those sort of things.
Okay, that's true. I didn't think about it.
It's going to be a very difficult one to manage. I don't know how they manage.
No, they will. I think it's either Iran, either they ban Iran and they replace them.
Exactly, that's what they end up doing.
And because again,
so the question will be,
come out,
what's FIFA's position in banning Iran? What
banning
Iran do to
because FIFA has come out. They want to remove the ban on Russia.
and
because
it should be for inciting. I mean, just the way FIFA banned Russia for invading.
It was decisions
But it's the
of
US that invaded now.
Is that what?
Joshua said they banned Russia for invading. And like in this case, US the one
US has
invading.
invaded. FIFA has not done anything. But the same US is also hosting the World Cup.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
it's a very tough one. That's why FIFA is saying that they want to remove the ban on Russia because Russia should not be suffering for decisions of politicians.
Yep.
You understand?
Yeah.
And politics should not be mixed with sports. So they are beginning to think, okay, they want to leave the ban on Russia because you cannot control decisions of politicians.
That's always been my issue too with like, and I understand like because society is somebody it's hard to like separate, but for me, I still think like football or sports and politics should always be separate. Like all those things of wanting to do armband, supporting some certain things. Like it shouldn't just be like. It should just be separate, like you said. Like, what does the players in Russia have to do with? And it's even cut across the sports. Like even in tennis, it's like the Russian players and the Ukrainian players, Belarusian players, they don't like shake each other before after the match, and all of those things.
Yeah, so it's a people thing
since the war started. So, and I'm like, I mean. Those people, and they are not the ones that said Russia should invade Ukraine. I mean, they don't want it to. They are also affected by it. So why are you punishing them for something that they are not?
For what decisions that politicians have made.
So football cannot be this saint that, or this wants to be the almighty that wants to use football to tackle all societal problems or all world problems. At the end of the day, football is just football entertainment that I want to enjoy. When you start bringing politics and diplomatic stuff into it, it starts getting messy.
Okay. Thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate this opportunity to talk about sports, and I don't take it for granted. Thank you very much once again. We've been able to dive through with unfiltered opinion, analysis, and big love for the Premier League and the world of football at large. Just want to say today is a good day. Take a chance and enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you, Crespo. Thank you, Joshua and Emmanuel. And enjoy the rest of the day. God bless.
Thank you.